difficult.
Well, then let's go down the list of the things that were mutually problematic. Dr. Lazaroff complained about the study taking too long, or I think not following the time limitations of the contract. What was Winston Chee's response, to the best of your knowledge, to that complaint?
Winston Chee would do it and hit the time frame that he felt was appropriate.
Okay. Did Winston Chee know about the particular, well, did you ever have any discussions with Winston Chee about certain time limitations that he had to do things within?
I told Winston that I wanted him to finish the study and get some results so we could see what we can do relative to his data.
Okay.
And our discussions, for the most part, always revolved around Winston finish the study and try and keep personalities out of the study, namely Dr. Lazaroff and his associates.
Okay. Did you have that discussion with Winston Chee on more than one occasion?
I did.
Okay. Could you summarize for me what Winston Chee said to you in response to your request that he keep personalities out of it and just finish the study?
He had a difficult time accepting that.
Okay. After the times that you discussed these matters with him, how did you leave it? Did he say he would try, or what? How did you?
It was most often left open-ended.
Okay. Was he angry with you for mediating this matter?
Oh, speculation, yes.
Okay. Did he ever say anything to you about doing it on his own time or something to that effect?
No, I never heard that.
Okay. Now, you said that at the end of 1998 is when you began communicating more often with Winston Chee with regard to the reports that Dr. Lazaroff wanted, right?
Correct.
Okay. What was Dr. Lazaroff asking for, if you recall?
He was asking for what was written up in the original agreement, namely the data and the results, which was part of the agreement.
Okay. And what kind of data are you referring to?
I'm referring to the implants that were placed in the patients and what were the results which he was supposed to supply to Dr. Lazaroff every 6 months.
Okay. And did you request that Winston Chee provide those reports to Dr. Lazaroff?
I did.
Okay. Do you recall when is the first time that you requested that of Winston?
My recollection was not that did not become an issue until November, December of '98. That before that there were the other issues that I've mentioned previously superseded that particular issue.
Okay. Did Dr. Lazaroff tell you why it was important for him to obtain the reports at that time?
In November and December of '98?
Yes.
I don't recall.
Did Dr. Lazaroff tell you that some of this data was required in order for him to continue his relationships in the United States or abroad?
He did say that.
Okay.
He did say that.
Okay. Do you recall telling Winston Chee that that was the reason Dr. Lazaroff needed the data?
I did not tell that to Winston Chee.
Okay.
I felt if I made those kind of statements to Winston Chee being so against marketing or whatever, that it would just exacerbate the situation. And I just told Winston Chee to finish the study as quick as he can and expedite it appropriately.
Okay. And did you tell Winston that he had an obligation to provide these reports pursuant to the agreement?
I did.
Okay. Did Winston Chee say to you that he didn't have any knowledge of the time limitations set forth in the agreement?
Winston Chee said very little.
Okay. And of course, you knew why. At that time, you had specific knowledge that some of these reports were required to provide to certain companies or entities that Dr. Lazaroff was trying to sell the implant to, right?
Well, you have to understand, I wasn't sitting there with that contract in front of me on a daily basis looking at the requirements of the contract. I actually had forgotten that Dr. Chi was supposed to, as a principal investigator, provide reports to Dr. Lazaroff every 6 months. As dean of a school, it's difficult for me to sit there with many documents on my desk every day and recall on a daily basis or even a monthly basis that Dr. Chi is supposed to fulfill his responsibilities.
Okay.
Dr. Chi was the principal investigator of the study, and accordingly, Dr. Chi should have been aware of the fact of what was written in that contract and provide results to Dr. Lazaroff as stated in the contract.
Okay.
But that was not Howard Landesman's job.
Right, and that's fair to say, but at least when Dr. Lazaroff came to you and said, I'm not getting my reports, you were reminded that there were certain reporting provisions in the contract.
And upon being reminded, I went to Dr. Chi and said, please fulfill your obligation and get those reports to Dr. Lazaroff.
Okay.
That is correct.